Miss Terry is sitting right there. Like, right. It's the cutest, sweetest. She's like sitting on the stage, hanging out, watching her husband do his show. It was the sweetest thing. And she was like, hey, are you going to do something on stage? I was like, yeah. She was like, what are you going to do? And I told her, she was like, well, you might not want to touch his hair. He's pretty particular. I was like, okay.
Welcome into this week's episode of EG and Friends, where each week of the college football season, I sit down with one of my dear friends in the industry to chat about Alabama's matchup that given week. Now, some of these dear friends of mine have an affiliation with the team that Bama is playing. Others do not, but the common thread is I want to share their magic with you. Now, this week, I don't know a lot of Eastern Illinois grads. I can't say that I do. So I wanted to find someone that I felt like all of you would know pretty well, and someone that gives you a lot of joy when you check and see what they're up to any given week of the SEC. And that had to be, without further ado, Josh Snead, or better known as the Vandy Pimp.
Oh, nice.
No, you're good.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great intro. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm just happy you're here. We have a lot to talk about. I mean,
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, we can chat about the matchup between Alabama and Eastern Illinois. Not sure if you have a lot to say there. Yeah.
Not really.
Shockingly, right?
Yeah.
So start from the beginning, Josh, because SEC Shorts, it has brought so many of us, like I said, just so much joy as we watch you guys get so creative with the teams and brands that we love so much. Take me back to the beginning of the formation with the initial idea of what would become something that is so mainstream in this industry.
Thanks. First, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
And I'm happy to, I'll double back and answer it. But you have the double name.
Yeah.
Emily Grace. So when you were in trouble when you were a kid, did she say the full Emily Grace?
Oh, yes.
Emily Grace.
Oh, yes. And I've never been Emily and I've never been Grace. It's always the full thing. But, you know, in the business world, Emily Grace McWhorter is a mouthful. So we had to shorten it to EG.
EG sounds real good. That's a really cool, I wish I had I don't have a good nickname.
But you play these incredible characters, so it's like you get your fix almost.
I do. You're right. I also get to dress up a lot. So when it's Halloween time and it's time to actually dress up, I never do.
You're set.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been doing that every week for like 10 years now. I don't think I need to dress up for this. Anyway, all right, I'll start back to answer your question. Because when you said your name, I was like, I could picture like a Southern mom.
Of course.
Like, Emily Grace?
Emily Grace McWhorter.
We don't do that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not how we act in Walmarts. But I'm sorry.
It was
Publix. Oh, yeah.
You know.
Okay. Well, okay, to double back. Yeah, so it started by with my buddy Robert and I. We just wanted to be on TV, really. Feinbaum started his show. It was the year the SEC Network started. And they gave Paul like 8 hours a day to try to fill time. And so he was letting fans send in videos. And we thought if we just sent in like a polished sketch instead of just like a rant, that we had a better chance of getting on air. And the show, the producers and Paul, everybody got real excited about it. And they asked us to send them every week. And so we did that for a year. And then after that, you know, people started to offer us to pay us to do it.
So what's interesting about that is you guys kind of got into things before social media is what it is today, right? Because you have, you know, short form content that is so popular. But 10 years ago, you guys were ahead of the game in that regard.
Well, yeah. So now what we do is considered way long. So that's like, if you go to our Instagram numbers, they're way, way under what we do on like, you know, X or YouTube or anything. It's because people go to those specific places expecting longer videos. And now like our 5-minute sketches are like, feel like a 3-hour movie to someone your age, I'm sure. So yeah. So, you know, when we first started, it was, we were like, oh, you're doing short content. And now it's like, these are too long. So
which is so interesting. And it shows you guys like the sports industry and media as a whole, it's constantly changing and evolving. So for you guys, something that you felt like you were ahead of the game on, our attention spans are shorter and we're consuming things in such a small portion that you guys have to hook someone in the first second or else they may not stay for the full duration of the video. So how have you guys been able to leverage that creativity into really building a fan base and a following that no matter what, you know, you're tuning into SEC Shorts after the game's on Saturday?
Yeah. So I think to kind of adapt, we've started including more teams in every video. So at the beginning, it would be we would pick one team and really focus on that. And in the last few years, we've changed it to where we try to do a broader premise and include as many teams as possible. So, um, and it makes you get a wider net with the fan base. They're like, okay, I know it may be a small joke, but my team's gonna be mentioned somewhere in here, so I want to watch and see what's going on. So, kind of it's and it also keeps the bits moving. So instead
Mhm.
of focusing on one team and you're going to see how many jokes from the game can they get to, you're waiting to see if your team is in it or what surprise teams may be in it or what happens. So the bits are just shorter and there's just a lot more of them within
What
it.
has been your favorite team to parody, would you say?
My favorite team to parody is Tennessee because they have a pretty good sense of humor about it, surprisingly enough. So
Interesting.
Tennessee fans are pretty cool with you making fun of them. And
Here,
we
Josh, grab some water. Grab some water.
Yeah, so we never really even like go too hard on people, but Tennessee fans seem to be pretty have had a good sense of humor about it since the very beginning.
Yeah.
So now once they start doing better, they expect you they're like, all right, we've taken our lumps for a few years there now. Like you guys better like do something good for us. So, but
When
they've been my favorite.
when do you feel like, Josh, when you look back at what you guys have been able to accomplish, was there a moment that you guys kind of looked around and said, "We've made it. Like we're to the next level, and this is something that is sticking."
I think you'll find it's like there are little steps like that along the way. It's hard to pin it to just one thing. It's like, when at the end of that first year, we've just been doing it for fun for free. At the end of that first year, when several people were like, "All right, we're willing to pay you to do this," we were like, "Oh, this could be our job," and then it became our jobs, and then you're on the sideline for a championship game, and you get to you have more access to the teams, and that's a big step. And then just last year, the Vandy Pimp character, like I got to go out to a Vandy game, and I ran out of the tunnel before the team, and they made us like part of the game, which was
Right.
crazy. And I never thought anything like that would happen. So it's just little things like that along the way that just accumulate to like one big
Yeah,
moment.
and you see the Vandy Pimp on your Yeti right there. Is that the sticker of you?
No, it's uh, yeah, we're making shirts, and the company we're doing it with just sent this over, and so
That's
I
so
like
good.
having a thing to drink water out of all the time. So it's cool. It's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, and I don't know. Do you have a favorite episode that you guys have done that really sticks out? One that might be a fan favorite that we all love, but one that you just look back on, you're like, that was so fun to film.
Uh, yeah. This year we did the barbershop quartet again. We've done a couple with those guys, and it's just because afterwards they're so sweet. They get so excited, and I'm part of their email chain for
Nice.
the video, and so I guess they don't know, they always forget that I'm on there, and they start to talk to each other about how viral the video is, and then they're like Googling like what counts as viral. And I'm just seeing it all like play out in their email chain. And it's the sweetest thing that you could possibly ever imagine. So I just love working with those guys. People seem to really like those. This season we did it's called roster flex jersey. It's right before the season started, and it's like a jersey that can like change
Mm-hmm.
as the team changes. So um, corporate sponsors, player changes. Like if your player leads in NIL, you just take numbers and names off. I thought that was a really funny commercial.
Yeah.
Um, there was one where he had like singing minstrels that follow Texas A&M around. Um, that was maybe a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved filming that one and coming up with it because uh, having to write songs or music, it's same with
Yeah.
the barbershop quartet, within the compressed amount of time that we have is very difficult, and it adds like an element of like challenge and pressure to it. So pulling it off, actually, it feels like a big accomplishment.
Well, and I was going to ask you about that because, again, we see the result of a lot of hard work from you guys. We don't get to see the strategizing and the writing and all that goes into simply one of these episodes. Walk me through, from start to finish, what this process is like for you guys until, the last game hits the clock at 0 to when you guys are pushing this thing out.
Yeah. So we wait till all the games are done.
Yep.
Then we'll start exchanging texts, and then we have a call. We meet at about 7 a.m. on Sunday, and then we we pick an idea. We get we try to get an outline of how the script would go, or a list of bits we want to do, things like that. And then from there, we have like a list of like the wardrobe and the props we would need, things like that. And we split. And Robert tries to get a script together, and then I'll start to gather all the stuff we need and the people we need and find a location and all that stuff. And then we meet back up around 4-ish.
Okay.
And then we start filming. That usually goes to sometimes as late as midnight, and then Robert's up till 4 or 5 a.m. like editing. So
wow, I didn't realize that you guys, when you say find a location, so you guys don't have the same set that I mean, I guess you don't, because it's always a variation of different things.
Yeah, we film at Robert's house a good bit whenever we need like a home location, but other than that, we're all over the place. We've filmed in a law office. We filmed in like a mock trial room for a legal office. Medical offices.
Yeah.
Just all of like anything you can imagine. So
where do you keep the Vandy costume? Is there a special place, or is it just in the closet with all the other props?
It is with everything else, but it's in a special case in a container and like a zip up bag and all that stuff. But yeah, we have a huge storage facility that we keep all of our like video gear and costumes and props and all that stuff. And we do a live show. We have all these set pieces for that, and we keep those in there too. So it's like, if you went to our storage, it's actually a pretty fun trip, because you're like, oh, that's crazy. That's from that. That's from that.
No, that's what I was about to say. I feel like, us regular people would love to see kind of the behind the scenes and like how you guys do it, because it's so impressive that you're able to turn these, videos out so quickly, and all of the inside jokes that you guys weave into it. The writing is incredible. Everything is just so fun. Now, you guys did get to go on College Gameday, and you got to give Coach Saban, the cape and the scepter, all those items. What was that experience like?
I'm glad you asked. Because I haven't got to tell this story yet too much. So they asked us to do the bit, and it's going to be short. It was maybe like 15, 20 seconds long at the most. And we knew that, and it was going to involve Saban somehow. They were like, we want you to hand all your stuff off to Saban, and, we'll do as we're go to commercial. I was like, okay, that's simple enough. So people were like, oh, are you nervous? I was like, no, I think I'm just walking out on stage and handing him my stuff and leaving, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And right before we went on stage, the producer goes, he has no idea what we're doing. So just kind of roll with it. I was like, wait, what? I don't think he's the type of dude you want to just roll up on and surprise. I don't know if this is a great idea. And they were like, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I was like, okay. And I get up there, and then I start to get nervous, because I was like, he's not going to be cool with this at all. Yeah. And Miss Terry is sitting right there, like, right. It's the cutest, sweetest. She's like sitting on the stage, hanging out, watching her husband do his show. It was the sweetest thing. And she was like, hey, are you going to do something on stage? I was like, yeah. She was like, what are you going to do? And I told her. She was like, well, you might not want to touch his hair. He's pretty particular. I was like, okay. So she was just like, good luck, gave me a high five. And it was like the sweetest thing. So I go out there and I just hand it to him thinking, okay, that's it. He was like, no, I'm putting it on. So he like put it on and went to the crowd and made it a whole thing. And so he was a really good sport about it, which, is part of why he's awesome. And, and it was actually a really fun experience. So it was, like I said, maybe 15 seconds, but it was really cool.
So my last question for you before we get into my favorite segment of EG and Friends, when it comes to Bama fans and when it comes to, immortalizing Alabama through SEC shorts, what sticks out to you about that group, and what is kind of your strategy when approaching Bama?
Oh man, as long as you stick to the facts, like this is what happened in the game. This is not up for debate. Like this is what happened in the game. And then you just try to key in on how we feel, because I'm an Alabama fan myself. So we just try to key in on like how we feel as a fan base, and not like low blows. Basically that's our whole thing. Basically, is like, what do these fans actually feel like right now, and try to tap into that. And that's what we do with Alabama and most all fan bases. So as long as you stay true to the facts of what happened in the game and you don't go like too hard on them, then they're fine. Because I think by this point, like, we've been doing 11 years, everyone sees like we make fun of everybody, including ourselves. So everybody's just gonna get it at some point.
Right.
And like when we met Kirk for the first time, he was like, "Yeah, you've been making fun of me for like 2 years." We're like, "Everybody's got to take their lumps, Kirk. I don't know
Right.
what to tell you,
Right.
man."
Everyone's in the same boat, my friend.
Yeah. We're all getting made fun of here, so it's all in good fun.
Josh, I often say this is my favorite segment of the show because I just feel like a lot of people get to know, the friends that I have on this show as the people, the personalities, but not necessarily the people. And so I ask to round out the show what the best piece of advice that you've been given in this industry is. And I love, how unique each answer is. So I'm excited to hear yours.
Okay, yeah. I think for me, it's the most the best advice I got was just be as famous as possible. Don't waste your time with hard work or learning skills. That's what producers are for. They do all the hard work. You just be really famous, and let them do all the hard work.
Interesting.
So yeah, it doesn't matter how you do it. Just try to get as famous as possible. A lot of people will tell you it's about the friends you make along the way. It's the money.
No.
It's the money. If I can call, e.g., it's about the money. If I may,
You
Emily Grice.
Emily Grice. It's about the
the
money.
You get that money, Emily Grice. You get that money. You gonna get that money now, Emily Grice. No, my real advice would be to find your people, and just people that you gel with, same sense of humor, same work ethic, and just go all in together.
I love that. And you guys did it. And it's been so fun to watch. And Josh, thank you for taking the time because I know you guys are very busy this time of year. So thank you for joining us on EG and Friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of EG and Friends. It sure was a fun one with Josh Snead. I loved in his advice portion. I didn't realize where he was going with that at first. And so it's so funny to go back and watch the first half of it. But with that being said, I want to make sure that you guys are following my friends as always. So if somehow you haven't seen them yet, go check out SEC Shorts. They are so good every single week, and they just keep getting better and better. So with that will wrap up week number, I want to say this is episode 7 of EG and Friends, which is super fun. I have loved every single minute of it, and I love sharing my friends with you. So with that, enjoy your weekend of college football.